Dolphins Today is sponsored by Mint Mobile. They have cell phone plans starting as low as $15 per month. We'll tell you more about them later on today's show. Dolphins fans, I am Will Scott. Welcome into this edition of Dolphins Today. We're about 28 hours away from that huge game against the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday Night Football. We're going to talk about it to an injury update, provide you with injury reports from both teams here in a second. But first, go down, hit that big red subscribe button because we are so close to 31,000 subscribers. We've been on the doorstep all week. Let's get there by the end of the day. Go down, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay in the loop with Dolphins news. Let's talk about Tua first on today's show because Tua Tagovailoa has been questionable for this game really all week because of back and ankle injuries that he suffered against the Buffalo Bills. Tua did say, though, yesterday in his press conference that the plan is to play. So Tua thinks he can play. The hope is that he can play, says Mike McDaniel. McDaniel said yesterday at his press conference that if Tua cannot play, it literally was not possible. I mean, Tua's a tough guy. We saw that against the Bills on Sunday. He came back in the second half, won the Dolphins that game, played through an injury. So hopefully he's going to be able to go out there and play on Thursday because if he can't and Teddy Bridgewater has to start, that's not going to be good for the Dolphins' chances. Guys, if you want Tua to play, go and type Uno down in the chat. Tua on roll call right now. Go and spam Uno in the chat. Uno is the nickname that Tyreek Hill has given to Tua Tagovailoa, as we all know. I want to see Uno spam for number one down there in the comment section. We do have some good news to report here on Tua. He was upgraded from DNP, did not participate, to limited on last night's injury report. So it's kind of interesting and weird because the Dolphins did not practice. This is an estimation. So they said in the injury report that if the Dolphins had practiced yesterday, he would have been limited. But on Monday, he wouldn't have participated, so that's significant. Here's what Mike McDaniel said about Tua. It's a tricky scenario. Luckily, that's one of the reasons why we feel so fortunate to have Teddy. But if this were like an actual practice on a normal week, Tua would be limited and he would be questionable for the game. So Mike McDaniel saying that Tua Tagovailoa is questionable for Thursday Night Football. Here is what he also said about the Tua injury. Your body has a reaction process that you can have all of a sudden. You can lose all your power in your throws. You can't redirect, and once you can't protect yourself on a NFL football field, we have to protect you. So it's both. Yeah, there'll be some pain regardless. It's whether or not that pain hurts him from being able to put his production on the field and escape impending danger, which is part of the job of an NFL quarterback on Sundays, or in this case, on Thursdays. So Mike McDaniel saying the Tua is questionable for tomorrow. We're probably not going to know anything until game time or a couple hours before the game if Tua is going to play or not. So we'll continue to keep you posted here on Dolphins Day. We're having a watch party for that game tomorrow. But at the moment, Tua is questionable for TNF. Mike McDaniel added this, I should say. Literally like pain and stability of both injuries, back and ankle, because I'm not sure. Have you ever thrown your back out at all or had any, I don't know, like apparently you need your back for literally everything. I love Mike McDaniel quotes. So it's the functionality of it because all of a sudden your back's overly tight or you feel that crazy pain. Look, I think Tua Tagovailoa is going to play. He's tough. He said yesterday at his press conference that the plan is for him to play. Like Mike said, it would be impossible for him to play if he doesn't play, right? If he can play, he's going to play, and I want to see him out in the football field for tomorrow's big game in Cincinnati. Before we get into more on the Fins, I want to tell you about this great deal we're giving you guys through Mint Mobile. If you go to mintmobile.com/chatsports, you can get a cell phone plan starting as low as $15 per month. Your service, if you make the switch, is going to switch seamlessly between 5G and 4G LTE. Whatever network is the strongest, you can use your data however you like, even where coffee shops don't exist. And maybe outside of the $15 per month, I think the best part of Mint Mobile making the switch is how easy it is to make the switch. I made the switch a couple months ago. I did it from the comfort of my home. I did not have to go to a store. When I was making the switch, I figured, I have to go to a store. I did it all from the comfort of my home. Very easy. You can do the same. mintmobile.com/chatsports. Let's get into the Dolphins injury report. So we waited all day for the injury report to come out, and it came out at like 8 o'clock last night. So Dolphins, for my sake, in terms of me getting videos out, I would appreciate an earlier injury report. But this is the injury report that came out last night. So Teron Armstead did not participate or would not have participated. Again, this is an estimation. The Dolphins did not practice this week. This is saying that if there was a practice, Armstead would not have participated. But I think Armstead's going to play. He's been on the injury report the last 2 weeks, and he's played. Ethan Carter this morning was officially ruled out. He still is dealing with that concussion that he suffered in Week 1. It's the third concussion, I believe, he suffered in 4 years. It's very bad, apparently, this concussion that he suffered, so we certainly hope Ethan the best. He did not make the trip to Cincinnati earlier this morning. Xavien Howard, limited. Good news there because he was upgraded from did not participate. Robert Hunt, also upgraded, as well as Brandon Jones. All those guys were DNP yesterday. Now they're limited today. Also this, Hunter Long did not participate. I'd be surprised to see him play on Thursday based on the way he is trending. Tua was upgraded from DNP to limited. Waddle also upgraded from DNP to limited. I was surprised to see him on the injury report Monday, but last night he was upgraded. Raekwon Davis still limited, and then Jevon Holland upgraded to a full participant in practice. So that's really good to see with Jevon. Rounding out the injury report, yes, there's a lot of Dolphins that are injured, 14 to be exact. Kader Kohu limited. I think he should be fine. Greg Little, very good news on his front. He was upgraded from limited to full. He's been playing well in replace of Austin Jackson. I'm very, very happy for Little. Zach Sealer, still limited, as well as Ced Wilson, still limited with a ribs and toe issue. So that's the Dolphins injury report for the game tomorrow night. We're going to be live for that game, Thursday Night Football. Join us for a watch party. We have some fun things planned for y'all tomorrow night, so you're going to want to be able to. You're going to want to join us for that. Go down, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. We're going to be going live about 15, 20 minutes before kick. But if you turn on your noties, you're going to get a notification on your phone, an alert on your phone that we are live. It's the best way to stay in the loop with our channel. Go down, turn on your notifications. Here is the Bengals injury report. La'el Collins did not participate. That's significant because their offensive line sucks, and with him out, it would be even worse. DJ Reader did not participate. Drew Sample as well. Eli Apple was upgraded from limited to full. Good news for Dolphins. T. Higgins upgraded from limited to full as well. So that is the Bengals injury report that we have for you guys here. So Eli Apple, it looks like he's going to play. Tua Tagovailoa was actually asked about that. Here's what he said. If Tyreek is matched up with Eli Apple and we call a play for Tyreek and it's one-on-one, I'm giving Tyreek a shot. Just know that he's getting the ball. Oh, man, Tyreek might go for 300 yards tomorrow night with Eli Apple defending him. I want to ask y'all, though, how many yards for Tyreek on Thursday Night Football with Eli Apple covering him? 100, 200, I'd say at least 300 yards for Tyreek Hill tomorrow night. Keep in mind, there's beef between these two that really escalated during the Bengals-Chiefs AFC Championship game last season. So Tyreek has been waiting for this game. He's had it circled on his calendar. Pray for Eli Apple, man. It's going to be bad. Guys, want to also hit on this because I saw some Myles Gaskin trade rumors this morning, and y'all are going to see a video going out this weekend where I talk about this as well. But PFF said the Dolphins should consider trading running back Myles Gaskin. Here's what they said. Gaskin appears to be the odd man out in new head coach Mike McDaniel's offense after the Dolphins signed Chase Edmonds away from the Cardinals and Raheem Mostert reunited with McDaniel after their time together in San Fran. Salvon Ahmed has worked ahead of Gaskin thus far, burying Gaskin down in the depth chart. It's interesting to say that because Ahmed hasn't played either. He's hurt. Miami has every incentive to make a move here if possible, with Gaskin earning an elevated $2.54 million 2022 salary and having yet to play a snap on offense. So, yeah, Gaskin has not gotten a snap yet on offense, which is surprising. So PFF saying that the Dolphins should consider trading Myles Gaskin. I would agree. He doesn't really have a role in this offense. Here is the trade that they proposed. Dolphins receive 2023 7th-round pick. The Saints would get Myles Gaskin. So not a whole lot of compensation, but still some compensation for a guy that has yet to play a snap this season. So I want to ask y'all, would you do this deal? Would you give up Gaskin for a 7th-round pick in the next draft? Type D for deal or type ND for no deal down in the comment section. Go down. Let me know what you think. Here's what PFF said about the Saints making the move here. Alvin Kamara has been dealing with injuries to start the 2022 campaign, and New Orleans' depth at running back leaves a lot to be desired. The loss of Kamara doesn't just affect the run game. However, as his 82.7 receiving grade over the past 3 seasons, ranks 8th amongst running backs. Veteran backup Mark Ingram sports a 29.3 receiving grade in 2022. That ranks dead last out of 72 running backs with at least 10 snaps received, in large part due to a lost fumble, as he's generally been a fairly reliable pass catcher. However, if asked to take on more of the early down workload to keep Kamara fresh, this is where Gaskin makes a lot of sense. Producer Trace, can we get you on? Because I know you cover the Saints. What would you think about potentially making a move for Myles Gaskin here and giving up a 7th-round pick to do it?
Yeah, so honestly, as a Saints fan, Saints coverage here at Chat Sports, I would do it, man. I really would. I like the 7th-round compensation. Obviously, Alvin Kamara has been having some issues. Next year, he might have a suspension. He probably will have a suspension. Mike Ingram's been pretty slow. He's been holding it down. He's been scoring touchdowns. He's been doing what Saints fans want him to do. That being said, he's just not doing enough. And I wouldn't hate Myles Gaskin trade. I've actually been kind of talking about it all offseason.
Keep in mind, Gaskin was the first-string running back on the fence last year.
And then all the additions.
Right. And he's not good enough to be a number 1, but number 2 or number 3, I think he could do well there.
And with his pass catch ability, I think that he adds a lot, just like you were saying.
Right. I'm with you, Trace. Before I would trade Gaskin, though, to New Orleans or anywhere, I want to see him get more involved. He hasn't played a snap. He deserves a shot here. I mean, we saw him last year. Yeah, he didn't do great as the number 1, but he had no business being a number 1. That's first of all. Second of all, he had a terrible offensive line, the worst offensive line in the league. So I want to see Gaskin get involved with this offense. Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds haven't done much so far. Give Gaskin a shot before you trade him. Guys, go down and subscribe to our Miami Dolphins channel. Again, we're having a watch party for Thursday Night Football. We'll see you then.